counterparts, sir, it is a bill that will be good for commerce, good for our country, good for jobs and opportunities here, and I support the bill.
Andrew Williams.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I rise on behalf of New Zealand First for the Commerce Commission International Cooperation Fees Bill. New Zealand First is supporting this bill, and we have supported it through the first and second readings and now for the third reading. As we've heard, the primary objective of the Commerce Commission International Cooperation Fees Bill was first introduced on the 9th of September 2008, so it's taken a long time to get to this point, and it is somewhat disturbing that it has taken 4 years to get through this legislative process when it does provide some assistance in terms of our Commerce Commission and dealing with its associate in Australia, the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission. So it is somewhat disappointing that it's taken this amount of time for that cooperation to be confirmed. The new powers will also affect the Commerce, Fair Trading and Credit Contracts and Consumer Finance Acts, so it does have some ramifications for those acts as well. The main thing in terms of this act is the reciprocity, and the main justification for this bill is any assistance that is provided to the Commission is then reciprocated with its sister organisation in Australia. This is achieved by requiring formal cooperation arrangements to be in place before the Commission can offer any investigative assistance or information. And every such agreement must provide for the Commission and the overseas regulator to provide information and assistance to each other. The concept of reciprocity between regulators is important. It should go without saying that the Commission should not dedicate its time and limited resources to assisting an overseas regulator unless there is something to be gained by it and New Zealand consumers. The Commission's core function is to promote competition in markets for the benefit of New Zealanders. There are some safeguards in this. New Zealand firms already complain on the sluggishness of the Commission to reach decisions for mergers and other investigations. For them, a diversion of the Commission's limited resources away from its core function would be unwelcome. This bill provides some safeguards in that respect. Cooperation arrangements must consider the potential consequences for New Zealand consumers and businesses of providing compulsory required information or investigative assistance to the overseas regulator. The Minister must also have regard to the legal framework around the use of the information in that foreign jurisdiction. This should alleviate concerns that information obtained in New Zealand may be used in another jurisdiction in a manner inconsistent with New Zealand's legal principles. The bill also provides for the Commission to seek payment from an overseas regulator of any costs it incurs in assisting. And again, that is a good move so that we are not just doing things on the freebie situation, that there are charges incurred and therefore they will be genuine inquiries that come from any sister organisations from other jurisdictions. The bill seeks to better equip regulators both here and overseas to detect and deter anti-competitive behaviour. The proposed powers represent a significant inroad into international law concepts about the extraterritorial reach of domestic legislation and the powers of domestic regulators. This bill overcomes international difficulties by providing an alternative, and some may say backdoor route, for obtaining international legislative documents. Where information is to be provided to an overseas regulator, the Commission must advise any person to whom it relates about that, unless disclosure comprises the overseas regulators or the Commission's investigation. In practice, it is likely that the Commission could, if it so wished, often argue disclosure would prejudice an investigation. For example, it may tip off a company that an overseas regulator is investigating a particular industry, or if the information has been received pursuant to a leniency application, it could reveal the identity or existence of the whistleblower. The bill also contains provisions to expressly protect privileged documents the Commission receives from overseas regulators and vice versa. Existing agreements already are in place with some countries such as Canada, the United Kingdom and Taiwan. These provide for cooperation on certain matters, including coordinating enforcement activities and exchanging non-compulsory acquired information or with the consent of the providing party. The bill is an acknowledgement, however, that without compulsory acquired information able to be shared, mutual cooperation is somewhat limited. These existing arrangements will likely need to be amended to incorporate the new proposed powers. The timing of the change, this has been a long gestation, as I said before, since 2008. It's taken 4 years. The Australian legislators have already enacted this some considerable time ago, so we have been lagging in terms of our response to this. This is overdue. New Zealand First supports the bill. We have said we support good policy where it's put up by the government. This is good policy, but it's very sad that it is long overdue policy, but it does certainly give more strength to the Commerce Commission in this country and across the Tasman with its sister organisation to ensure that there is good practice in terms of our economy. New Zealand First supports this bill.
Kanwal Bakshi.
Mr. Speaker, it's my pleasure to stand and support this bill.